All right, let's see what's going on with Snake Eater and the RTX 5090. Uh-oh. Oh no, I see stutter. Oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ah, oh no. Oh no, dude, oh no.
UE5, just chill out for a moment, alright?
The pain. Honestly, you're better. What isn't the like the 2080 Ti, the 20, right? The 2080 Super still like pretty good. Everyone's like, what the fuck? Yeah, how's that extra power of I don't even know. Are you even getting extra power? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see what's going on with I forgot we didn't get to watch this yesterday because my fucking internet cut out. So we'll watch it now. We will watch it now. Hey, what happened?
Sometimes things feel different, but you can't quite put your finger on why. Well, today you're going to find out why. Because
oh
gaming
no,
has changed.
the
We've got new
Roblox
data that suggests 93% of kids prefer playing games on phones.
True.
Not PC, not console.
Yeah,
phones.
Japan,
so
China.
Your boy Wyatt Cheng.
Right,
Don't you guys have
a lot of
phones?
right. America
Oh
doesn't have
Turns
like
out
the
he was
the transportation
prescient.
shit
But here's another aspect
that
to
those
it.
guys
It's
do.
how these kids
Right, a lot of those
engage with
guys have more
games. Here's a
downtime.
quote.
Also,
They
some of them
no
are more
longer
limited,
identify
like
as
China,
gamers.
right?
They identify as players of a specific
PC gaming
game.
over there
so
is not as
that
big.
Games are a medium that they like.
Right, it's more
it's
on the
that they
go
play
gaming.
Roblox, or they play Fortnite. So directionally,
Like
based
some
on the
games,
real
gotcha
trends that we're
games.
seeing, the future of gaming looks like it's people who are fans of one game that probably play it on a phone, which is a bit weird. I don't like it, and it raises a big question. What does it mean for people who prefer what I'll just call traditional gaming experiences? Maybe
Correct.
people like you and me. Okay, so in our
Yeah.
last video,
I'm
we
more of
looked
a
at gaming's past
traditionalist,
and compared it to now. And
unfortunately.
we talked about the 1983 game crash
I
that
don't like all
leveled
the
American
fucking
games industry. It's
season
set
pass
so many standards for where we are
bullshit,
now.
right.
But there was a side effect that we
The
didn't talk about,
fucking,
and it's one that's key to gaming's future. You see, when games
loot box
resurged in
fucking
America post
stupidness,
1980s
right?
game crash, they were sold as toys for children, and that decided the marketing for like the next 40 years. The medium literally grew up alongside its audience. You had Rob the Robot marketed to young boys. Then came
I forgot
G4,
about that
Tony
one.
Hawk, Call of Duty for the
Fucking
cool
little
teenagers. I was a cool teenager, totally.
Yeah, I played the Tony
Now,
Hawk
of
games.
course, what do we have? Well, we've got
Even the skate
cinematic
games?
sad dad games like The Last of Us. Yeah, it's grown up with us. I'd absolutely say gaming has always been for everyone. Anyone can pick up a game. A Nintendo game is an example. But the culture and the marketing, not so much. It has been targeted. And I want you to think about Battlefield 6 and how it just got revealed. Because they unironically played Limp Bizkit. Yeah, Limp Bizkit. So, go take your medicine if you've remembered this track. And it does kind of show us something. The culture and marketing around the game industry hasn't changed with technology. They haven't changed with demographics. The kids of 2025, they will not be impressed by Limp Bizkit selling a game in the way that maybe the target audience of Battlefield 6 will feel nostalgic, especially one that needs a $600 console. And why would they be? They have
Yeah,
thousands
he
of
saw that too,
experiences on
yeah.
their phones. Experiences that
lame
are
what they
to
did
them
there.
just as entertaining,
But,
or
yeah.
should I say,
I mean, it's no
to their
surprise,
brain
right?
chemistry and systems are just as engaging. Personally, I think there's something
Yeah,
to be
they're
said
trying
for the
to
depth of
increase
an
their price
experience.
now.
But basically, that's what they think games can and should be. And now we've got data, we've got stats to back it up. And, well, take your Vicodin, because this is kind of going to hurt. IGN State
Need
of
some
Gaming
painkillers?
report
Yeah.
frames this as
Gonna
a
need a lot of it.
generational shift, and it does go along with a lot of other data that we've seen. Essentially, Gen X and millennials think of gaming in terms of platform loyalty. That's, you know, the 70s through to the 90s generations. So basically, most of the people watching this video, at least per the demographics I see on YouTube, we're no strangers to tribalism in gaming. That's why we,
yeah.
you know, have
There's
a
a lot
console
of it.
war or a
I mean,
PC
just look at-
master race. But
Yeah, I mean, just look
distinctions
at what they're trying to
between
do
platforms
with
are, of course,
some of these
completely breaking
games.
down. We see that. I mean, the need for a platform is kind of disappearing. We see that in cross-platform games,
Wanna see
but
some true
younger
tribalism?
generations simply do not engage
Like,
in the same way whatsoever. Here's some stats to make
Concord.
that make sense. 93% of under
Concord and
13s
all those
prefer
crappy
playing games
games?
in their phone. So
Yeah.
that's the 2000s to 2010s generation. The cooked generation. Only 15% prefer a core PC, which of course is very sad. And by PC, it's probably a laptop. Even 32% of millennials now prefer playing on phones. I have to wonder if it's because, well, the torment nexus that is called the world has cooked all of our brains to the point where that's really all that we can latch on to. You know, convenience. But for those numbers in the 80s and the 90s, well,
Yeah, I
that's what
mean,
those people have
there's a
grown up
lot
with.
of
Now, this graph
iPhone
from
tablet
Matthew
kids,
Ball's,
that
State
grew
of
up
Gaming
and then
report
never
does help
grew
to
out of
explain
it.
everything as well. Let's look at Roblox as a case study.
No, it's just,
which, of
I
course,
think
does
getting
mean
into PC
content
gaming
warning,
is expensive,
get ready
right?
for some real goddamn sheer
Versus
horror.
just
Roblox
console
has
or,
existed since 2007. That was
phone,
the first full year of the
mobile.
Xbox 360, PS3, and the Wii. But it didn't take off properly until 2016. It didn't really explode until an audience fluid in tablets began playing. And then the pandemic kind of changed everything. Mobile play massively increased, but here's the key difference. Unlike the rest of the industry post-pandemic, Roblox kept growing. Yeah, so you know the way we talk about the games crash and all that stuff? Well, maybe that happened in some places. Roblox, it's the
Nope.
one place
Yeah,
where
they
those
kept
trends actually held. And it's outperforming everything. This one's crazy. Grow a Garden has the highest concurrent user base
I don't
ever,
think he's going to talk about
ever
the
of a
dark
game,
side.
with 21.3 million players.
Like the really dark
It was
shit
made
that's
by
been
a
happening.
16-year-old in 3 days. So, you know, compare your multi-hundred staff AAA studio to a 16-year-old in 3 days, and feel sad. And that might sound alarming. It is alarming. Is this where gaming's going? I mean, we're already seeing Sega and Starbreeze licensing official games in Roblox. Like a Dragon, Payday, those are in Roblox. You could think the industry will coalesce into platform agnostic mega games, that kids will grow up with them as basically second homes, and that those will wipe out
pretty much.
everything else. And I get
They're
the
trying to
fear,
make you
and I
spend
know
more
why the
money in their
fear-mongering can
fucking
work.
game.
And there are some things to be afraid of, but the thing is, that's already how the games industry works. And I'd say we're already feeling some of the downsides. So what if I told you that Call of Duty and Counter-Strike are basically just Roblox, but for boomers? I don't know why I'm saying Call of Duty and boomers. Let's say Counter-Strike. Yeah, CS is boomer Roblox. Now, it literally isn't in many ways, but what it is a mono game. Because for many of those people, that may as well be the only game that they play. On our other channel, I cover a lot of World of Warcraft
True.
because it unfortunately got its claws into me when I was young, and now I can't escape. And to many people, World of Warcraft is basically the only game they need, the only thing they play. Now, every month, we get a new report from Circana.
Whether it's
right?
only
This is their
FPS
engagement
games they
report.
only
And every
play,
month, what do we see?
gotcha
We see the same
games they only
10
play,
games report the
MMOs.
highest player counts. Console and PC space.
One
Now,
game
sometimes
Andes.
a cool indie like Peak will punch through, especially in PC. And looking at Matthew Ball's work, he has found the same pattern since 2021, where on PC, 5 games make up 30% of total playtime. Those games are COD, Counter-Strike, Fortnite, League, and Minecraft. The top 10 games, those eat up 50% of playtime on average. What that essentially means is massive concentration. But on consoles,
Yeah, I mean,
total playtime.
yeah, notice how Call of Duty, right, these games have been from the very beginning, right? These games are back in, right? They started in the 2000s, basically. Well, these games did. This game in 2000-ish? 2000-ish? Fortnite is the most modern, right? The most modern day one at like, what, 2019 or something? When did it come out? 2019? When did Fortnite? I spoke. 2017. 2 years off. Okay, so 2017. That's still yeah. So that's the most modern game. And just look how big these games are still now, right?
Those games are COD, Counter-Strike, Fortnite, League, and Minecraft. The top 10 games, those eat up 50% of playtime on average. What that essentially means is massive concentration. But on consoles, things are even more concentrated. It takes just the top 5 games to hit 50% of total playtime. Those
FIFA,
are COD,
oh yeah,
FIFA
the sports games.
EAFC,
Oh yeah, GTA,
Fortnite,
yeah.
GTA, and NBA 2K. The top 10 reach 60% of playtime. So where does everyone else live? The answer is in the margins, 6.5%. What is that number? This will shock you. That is the total playtime for newly released games in 2023.
Okay.
And it was a good year. Just 4 games.
So basically, the 6.5 is the small pie of spending a set amount of hours in versus, right, these other games where you spend like hundreds of hours in, possibly. Right, versus these games, you might not spend a lot of hours in. Well, I mean, Diablo 4 you probably would spend a lot of hours in. I mean, this just came out recently. So I mean, it's still picking up, but yeah.
Took half of that 6.5%, which were Baldur's Gate, Starfield, Diablo 4, and Hogwarts Legacy. There's strong games in there, yet only 6.5%. Why? Well, it's because only so many people are willing to play those new games. Because much like the kid who only plays Roblox, or
I mean, it's the same with the new games that are coming out now, right?
They only play COD. They only play EA. They only play CS. And Newzoo's 2025 report shows something that's also interesting. The number of people playing just 1 to 3 games per year has actually increased consistently over 4 years. That's
so are they
Steam,
saying more
PlayStation,
people are
Xbox.
branching
And
out?
the
Oh
times
my
where people
goodness.
do play more games, those are just when AAAs have a bad year. And that is the closest correlation they've found.
That's why.
That
because they don't like
Steam,
their game at
the
that time and
majority
point,
play
so they try
Counter-Strike,
something else for a time
37%,
being.
Or
Or they're burnt out for a
10%.
little
So
bit
even
and then come
it's
back
still
to it
very
later.
much a case of mega games. And what we see here is it's not just the kids. No, it's actually the way that multiple industries within the games industry went. Most players have their game. They might try something else, but they very often don't, and the numbers back it up. Now think about kids playing games on their phones, or teens playing games on their phones. What does that mean for the next generation? What does that mean for people who, according to this research,
Who knows?
do play a lot of games and are responsible for, well, at least in Roblox, one of the things that's holding up game industry growth, like literally pretty much the only thing that has continued the COVID trends that all the investor types hope for. Well, those people don't think of themselves as gamers. So what does that mean for the next generation of games? You may have heard of the now departed investing legend Charlie Munger. One of his good lines is, "Show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome." And what these reports show us is that the incentives are changing because the audiences are changing. Companies that need a larger audience will need to meet people where they are. We're seeing that games like Genshin and Infinity Nikki look like Ubisoft-style mega games, but they're launching across console, PC, and phone. Where Winds Meet does the same. That is the new priority. And it's why PlayStation and Xbox both chase subscription models. Different approaches, but same goal. These audiences expect instant access to huge libraries of games, not individual purchases. And this trickles down into design decisions. Take a look at EA's releases this year. Battlefield and Skate are effectively franchise revivals. They are legacy games coming back for an aging audience who love them.
They're trying to revamp
along with some limp biscuit to handle the marketing. But they're different. And honestly, in an exciting way, because they are both launching with
They're trying to get the
user-generated
nostalgia
content
back,
tools.
right?
Often I think of UGC and I think of some bizarre skibbity situation with a lot of very vibrant colors that makes me feel old and confused happening in Roblox.
What, COD? Oh,
Well,
yeah, I don't know what the
what
fuck
does
is
UGC
happening
mean for
with
something
COD
like
anymore.
Battlefield? Tell you what it means. Extremely impressive shit, at least based on what we've seen from BF6 so far. So it could very much be that those dynamics
played a
work
lot of the beta.
for the audiences of those games, and that if done right, those games could see growth in a similar-ish way. And there is some precedent as well. It's a little thing that we call the modding culture of PC gaming, right? Pretty big. Just that this time it's framed through Roblox's horrifically predatory ecosystem.
Oh,
one
yeah.
that
Super
uses kids
predatory.
to generate infinite revenue.
Yeah.
Moral issues very much exist.
Oh, okay.
God damn. What a business model.
So he
Turns
does
out
know
just
about
child
all
labor,
the
that's
weird
where
shit.
It was at all the time. Child
Well,
labor,
actually, I
parents'
don't know
money.
how deep he
What
dug
could
into
go
the
wrong?
weird shit, but
Now, this
yeah.
demographic change opens audiences up to new sorts of experiences. These kids find new modes daily. They play
do.
new games daily
Correct.
within their Roblox. Maybe to them, they have an incredibly diverse gaming library and are playing
Yeah, I think
new things
there's even a
absolutely
Dead
all
by
of the
Daylight
time,
mod too
in a
in that
way
game
that you
for
or I
Roblox.
maybe
Like
don't,
Roblox
because
has
firing up a
taken
new indie game, learning
everything
a bunch of new systems
from
and
all
of that,
games and
legit
like
just
modified
takes
it
brain
into their
effort. I mean,
fucking
for a
own
simple
game.
example, it's no wonder that systemic experience-driven games
Oh
like
yeah,
Peak
do they
or
have a
Lethal
Peak
Company
like
take off,
one? I don't
and
think so.
then
Not
get
yet, maybe.
microtransaction-filled
Oh shit,
clones
they oh
in
never mind.
Roblox.
I was all like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
they got a
kind of
Peak
money.
one.
But certain games simply don't matter.
Roblox
to
is
this
starting to
changing
do
audience.
Peak now.
Because so far in this
They're
video,
ripping
we've
off
not talked
everyone
about
now.
linear single-player narrative games, which so far do seem to be limited to sad dad games. They just aren't in the equation here. Even
Yeah,
though I'd
honestly,
wager those are the games that
yeah, ever since you had fucking this game come out, yeah, the story games have really lost their edge in a sense. But unfortunately, Neil Dickman is kind of a douche, right?
most people watching
Neil
this channel
Druckmann,
care
sorry.
about quite a bit.
I didn't
indeed.
mean
That
to
might be a
fucking
shocking thing.
misname him, but he's a
it might
douche.
be
Yes.
the best thing for the games that you love. Okay, think of this. The highest rated network broadcast of 2024 was Tracker. It got 11.34 million views. High Potential and Matlock Revival
Tracker.
followed. All exceeded 15 million viewers.
Oh no, it's a
Massive
CBS
successes.
network.
But the market is so big that you may not know about them. I literally did not know about any of those things until I came upon doing this video. Now, those shows massively outperformed Emmy-winning things like Shogun, The Bear, The Traders, Hacks, and all of those were outperformed by Squid Game and Netflix, which itself was outperformed by TikTok and social media.
Yeah, social media.
But it doesn't mean those experiences are being wiped out, and I think that's where
Correct.
we're getting to.
I mean,
in
it's
games.
just people
When
are
great games
viewing
release,
certain content,
they aren't
right?
trying to appeal to everyone. They are absolutely maxing what they should be as a game for their people. And if that is so good, it can expand its audience, then we see these games grow, and very often grow massively via viral network effect dynamics, like say with Lethal Company. And thinking of critical and public consensus, Expedition
even
33 is
Among Us,
incredible.
right?
It is a top runner for Game of the Year.
Even Among Us,
But
they
if you
had
look at
right.
top-selling
It died
games of
down,
the
and
year
then
top
right,
engagement charts,
streamers
you won't
picked it
see
back up.
Expedition 33. It is in there. 1 in 20 players on Steam or Xbox played Expedition 33 at launch, according to Circana. Slightly fewer in PlayStation. But what we've learned is the market may be expanding and changing, but even now, in an industry that rewards big games and entrenched audiences, those games can still be made. They can still be enjoyed, and that is what matters. And I think the biggest lesson of all of these...
Yeah, Expedition 33 is great.
Execution matters, and that focus matters.
Yep.
Expedition 33 is everything you would want, with nothing that you would not want for a game like that. It is not a bloated, shambling mess, saddled by having to find meaningful work for a production crew of 300 people. And funnily enough, that might mean that it's well executed and that there is strong focus. I think that that is going to be the way forward for the sorts of games that
Yeah, if we could get
many of
like
us
more
would be
teams to
afraid
like
we're going to stop
make
seeing. Now, in
games
this
like
video, you've
Expedition
learned how the
33,
gaming market is changing. The
where
demographics have
they don't
completely
fucking
shifted. Even how
right,
people
they do it for
identify
the right
within
for the
games has
love,
completely changed. And combined with the layoffs,
and
may
or
have you
just
thinking
doing it
there's
as
a
like
big
some kind
old
of
game
side
crash
project,
around
and
the
it
corner.
becomes
If you
right
want to learn about
great.
that, watch this video
That'd be
next.
great, but yeah, it doesn't happen like that always, right? Very few and far between, right? But yeah, there you have it. That's Bellular News if you want to check them out. What is that? Turns out that infinite growth is possible, especially if you create an economy that is increasingly hostile to your average worker. True. Not only that, but it's using kids as like labor too, right? Not only that, you have people trying to do some predatory shit to the kids. I think a lot of people are forgetting that gaming used to be much more niche. True. A lot of those kids who prefer mobile would probably just not be gamers in previous generations. As a former mobile gamer myself, this is probably the biggest reason why. It's so much easier to convince your parents to get you a phone than a console or a computer. I mean, that could be a possibility, yeah. I mean, but your phone is, whatever. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you think, well, you still have to, no matter what you do, right, you're still going to need a, internet access if you want to, right, for all three things. So, the better price point would be the console and the internet, right? Because the phone costs very expensive, is like a computer almost, right? Especially if you're gonna get one of the newer phones nowadays. So like some of the newer phones nowadays are like 500 plus bucks. Yeah, right. They're like a big ass, right? They're like a console, and then you have to pay for the phone line, or yeah, right, and then computer. Gotta buy a bunch of shit for your computer or laptop, and then you gotta buy internet, right? So yeah. As a gaming family, I guess we live in a bubble. My kid came up to us recently and asked my older games were so much better. I was so proud. Weird dive up. Inflation and prices crush wages, increase executive salaries, and you wonder why people can't stop $80 on a buggy lecture from the HR department. Yeah, that's true, right? Yeah, a lot of the games nowadays have some kind of issue where they have like some kind of memory issue, or they just keep crashing on people's setups. Yeah, it's not good. Then you have all these games, right? It's like, yeah, it doesn't do the industry any good when some of these games flop, right? Anyways, there you have it. That is Bellular News. I'll leave everything in the description if you want to see more of his content. But yeah, there you have it.